All right, in this video, we're going to make a 3-view layout in SolidWorks. This is SolidWorks 2021. This should help with Lab 1, where you need to create one of these views for the little tensile test specimen that you've drawn and simulated. So this is kind of what we're going for, just something simple, nothing really complicated. And I'm assuming that you're able to create your model, you know, the modeling part of it. This one is not the correct dimensions or anything. This is just the little generic shape that I drew up. So assuming you get to this point, you go to File, Make Drawing from Part. So I've got a part made. I want to make a drawing of it. I can just go straight here. It will bring up the sheet format selector. So if you're thinking of these, you know, blueprints and these large plans, sometimes you create them on really big sheets of paper. I'm assuming that, you know, you're interested in the ones that you would actually be able to print on a regular printer. So this first one, the A size, with the ANSI notation beside it, is going to be an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. That's probably the best one for us to use. So we will go with that. And it'll bring in, now it's brought in a whole bunch of stuff in our title block. The first thing I want to do is get rid of most of it. So to do that, I'm going to go to Sheet Format and edit the sheet format. And then if I click on this automatic border up here, I can actually select stuff I don't want. So I don't want any of that, basically. And it'll delete it. I don't want that line. Well, actually, that's a point. Let's create the line, or delete the line. I don't want that little date up there. Now I'm down in here. This is going to be automatically populated by the file name that I'm using, so that's okay. Maybe we can use that. I'm going to change that one. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the thing called title. We can leave size. That's just the sheet size. Scale would be good. That's if it's drawn to a particular scale on this page. Like when you print it out, is it half scale, full scale, whatever. I actually think I can fit what I drew at 1:1 scale, so hopefully that will automatically update when I change the scale of the model I bring in. Let's see, revision, we'll leave that there. This one, I can't quite tell what that is. The weight, I don't want the weight. Oh, sheet 1 of 1, that's okay. All right, so we'll leave that alone. Now let's go in and let's, you know, I can move these. These are drawing lines now. So I can move this down. I can actually go and draw, or sketch actually, a line to finish off this top. So it works just like you're drawing a line in SolidWorks. Oh, did I not click it? There we go. Let's go in and add, in the annotation tab up here, let's add a couple of notes. So these notes, I don't want to actually reference that line though, so let's not select the line. And let's add a note just floating over here. This will be the date. Let's put the date here. Let's see. I don't know. Probably Arial Narrow will be a good font here. Let's highlight it all in Arial Narrow. Way too many to choose from. Okay. We'll leave that there. I don't want another date there. Let's add another note here. A lot of times it's common to put who drew the document here. So we'll put this here. Drawn by. Okay. We'll check that one. So we've got a date. The date one looks a little bit large. We'll have to shrink that down a little bit in a second. Revision, let's see, we want the units. So when I put the units on a drawing like this, you don't actually write the unit out beside the number. So usually you have a little block in here that says what all the units are in. So let's add a note down here. And let's just, well, let's make it this also Arial Narrow. I wish it would default. There's probably a way to make it default to that I'm not using, but actually I think it needs to be smaller than that too. Let's go down to 10. Yeah. Okay. And let's edit this thing. So I need to go back. Actually, yeah, I can just edit it here. I don't know if I can move this date though. I can, but I can't see my, there it goes. I couldn't grab the corner of it. That looks good. All right. Now, I can't actually do anything yet. So let's go to the sheet format and title. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to add some empty spots. So I need some more annotation. So I need a note that's just a note over here where I can plug in the date later on. So we'll say the date goes there. And it'll just be empty. It'll show an X. I need one here where I want the drawn by to appear. And it'll be the same thing. It'll just be an empty. Now it's going to populate it with that Century Gothic. You can change that to what you want later. I don't really need a revision note, but just since it's easy to do, we'll put one there. And then we do need one for our units on here. So we'll put that right there. And we'll make it about that big. I don't know if inch is going to fit in there. We might have to, do an abbreviation. All right, so now I've got my empty spaces, placeholders. Now I go to title block fields up here. So that was back in the sheet format tab, title block fields. And basically I go and, well, there was an existing couple here that I'm not going to use. So I'm not using those. I'm going to use mine for date, mine for drawn by. Notice over here in the text fields, it's populating them. We'll do the larger one for revision. Oh, well, no, I guess we'll do that one. And then units. So these are the ones that I'm going to be able to use that are going to be fillable on my sheet. So we'll check those. Actually, let's do one more thing. Notice this big rectangle here. This is kind of like the active area for editing the title block. So I don't need it to be as large as it was before, so I can shrink it down some. All right. Now I've got my basic here, basic title block. You can kind of see the orange outline of where if I'm hovering over that, it's telling me that I can double click and add stuff. So I can double click here and I can add a date. Now it's not showing up until I actually exit out of it. I think that's more a redraw issue on my computer. So you can put your name or whatever you want in there. I guess I'll put my name. Revision, this will be revision 1. And then the units, I don't think I actually typed inch there. Let's see. Let's see what I typed. Yeah, I typed 2. All right, so there we go. All right, and we'll check that off. And so you can get rid of all that other stuff. That other stuff is useful that we deleted in certain situations, but it's things like if you're making a sheet metal part, the bend radius on things, and stuff that just doesn't apply to our drawing. So now we've got a reasonable title block. Let's go over to our drawing, and let's put our pictures on here. So you could go into a model view, but there's an option that says standard 3 view. So I'm going to click that one. There's the part file that I created. I'm going to double click it. And I'm actually going to, so it came in at a smaller scale. I'm going to go in and double click on that. Just any one of the drawings. This is the front, the side view. Well, this should be the top view. So apparently the way I've made it is not quite the orientation, because the top view should be up here, front view should be right here, and side view should be over here. So kind of depends on the way you're thinking of the part, but that's okay. I'm going to go to use the sheet scale right here, which is currently set at 1:2. So that looks like it's going to look a lot better on the page than the 1:4 I had before. And since these are linked together, they all changed. Notice they're kind of hanging off the edge here. You can click and drag them around. Actually, I need to move this guy first. And then let's put them something like that. Let's put the ISO view over here. So that would be maybe a projected view right here. You can have all sorts of views, section views, everything that we're not going to worry about. I'm going to click on this guy and pull off the isometric view. You can, once you've laid it on the page here, you can move it around. So I might move it over there. And then we need some dimensions. So in annotation, you've got smart dimension, and you pick what you want. I want the distance between this line and that line. This little blue and yellow is showing like it'll automatically offset it. You could just go drag this thing wherever you wanted it. It actually works a little bit better to use the offsets that they have. That way everything ends up nice and even. And if I go and say, oh, I want this one too, it'll automatically offset the larger one. And here it'll line those, the 2 and the 5.5, it'll line those up. Same thing with fillets there. You know, over here. This guy I actually need a little tiny dimension here for how thick I made the part. Normally when you're dimensioning parts, you want to find the view where that dimension is shown in the correct orientation. Like I could pull some of these, this 10, 5.5, 2, I could pull them off of this view, the top view, but they don't make as much sense there. So it's better to pull them off when you can actually see the lines, not just the edges of the lines, if that makes any sense. And you normally don't dimension off of the isometric view. Okay, that would be more or less what you could turn in. Then you could file, save, print, whatever you wanted to do. You could print it as a PDF to include in a document, a separate document or whatever. And that would be the most direct route to create a reasonable, you know, it doesn't have all that title block that you don't need. It has just what you need on there, the views that you want and the dimensions that you want on the document. So hopefully that helps with Lab 1's assignment, or maybe just helps in general making simple part layout views in SolidWorks. And again, this is SolidWorks 2021. I'm sure it's similar in most of the recent SolidWorks. All right, I'll see y'all next time.